Everyone, here is the background that I have started for this next painting, and here we are adding some fluid black and a couple of shades of green. I'm just moving it around to see if I can get it sort of shaped into a bit of a hillside mossy kind of look. So that's all I'm doing for the next little bit, and shaping it and uh, adding a little more to it as I go. At this point, I really am not positive how I want the painting to look in the end. Right here, I'm just raising it up a bit so some of the runoff at the bottom there can drip off okay. And I just sort of will move the paint around and shape it as I see as I'm going along there. So I'll just let you watch, and I will add some comments when I am trying to explain something that I'm doing. Thank you for watching. Well, here I'm just adding some more of the bright green because I know that that dark black is going to dry quite dark, so I want to make sure I have enough of the brightness in there. And I'm deciding what I want to do with the left and the right side at this point, and you'll see I start sort of um, tapping it with my fingers to sort of make a bit of a textured appearance, and sort of it ends up drying and sort of looking a bit like a silhouette. Anyway, I'll just let you keep watching, and I'm just at this point still trying to figure out the composition, and I try to see past where it is right now and what I can do with it again once this is dry later. So I decide I want to fill in a little bit of the right side a little bit more with some paint, and there I start tapping and um, making a little bit of a tapered off effect. I'll just let you keep watching. So here's where I've left it at this point. It's wet, and I just want to leave this all now to dry. I'm really at this point hoping that the bright sort of a neon-y looking green there stays, and it does, and I really like the way it dried, and um, it's taken me some time to sort of figure out what I want to start doing further to it. So I will start working on it further in a bit here and carry on. Thanks for watching this part so far, and the next part's coming up. Sorry about all that noise that was going on there. So you can see I've kind of drawn out some white chalk lines of a tree that I'm going to put in. So what I'm doing here is I've mixed in my cup. I have various sort of tree colors. I have black, bronze, I have some burnt sienna, I have some Van Dyke brown, and there's actually some silver. So I'm kind of just dabbing that fluid paint in sort of the tree trunk area right now, right up against that right side of the green. And the reason I do it this way is because I you know how you have your fluid art? Well, I like to do the trees in the fluid as well, because then you get that mixture and marbling effect of the different colors in the bark. So anyway, I chose to do it that way, and my cup has got a bunch of those colors, and I'm adding more black there. I do at some point add some colors to a paper plate and sort of do it that way too, because these are all sort of sinking to the bottom and they're mixing too much. And usually I don't let them mix too much. I sort of marble them. But you can see on the end of the stick there, that's how I like to drop the colors in, and I start creating the branches using that sort of marbled paint on the stick, and I just sort of drag it around and make the branches that way. So that's what I'm doing, is I'm starting to create a bit of a really spindly looking tree. So I'll let you just watch and see me. I'll try to fast forward through a lot of this too and cut some of it out, because it takes a long time to make all these little branches. Thanks. So here we are with a fully covered tree trunk. I have, what I mean is I've filled in the color, and I've added all my little branches there. There's still lots of time to do highlighting and things like that, but I now will wait for all this part to dry. I'm doing a little bit of highlighting now with some copper, and after I stopped the camera, I was looking at it and I thought, oh, I should add a little bit more down into that green area and sort of slope it back up to the left there. So I did some of that as well. But I will continue to add to the video until I get to the very final where I feel like it's completely done. I still don't know what I want to add completely to the end, but I knew I needed more than just the grassy sort of moss look there, and then I wanted to add the tree. Not sure yet what I'll do further. Sometimes it takes me a while of looking at it before an idea kind of hits me. But I'll let you watch and carry on. So here I'm still finishing up the branches, sort of basic shapes that I want. And I look back and think, well, do I want to extend them further? Do I need more? But there is a point where you can just let it dry and see how you like it, and I can always cover that little cup full of paint up and start adding more later if I want to decide to go right across the canvas, make them a little longer. So I'm just kind of contemplating now and seeing where I should just kind of leave it at what point, and doing a little more highlighting so I can make sure some of the copper dries within those little branches. And that's about it that I worked on this today, and yeah. Alrighty, so here's where I decided to leave it for now. Let it dry. It's very copper, and it's got some burnt umber and some various colors I mentioned earlier in there. Sorry, the lighting is not very good. Anyway, here's, oh, what happened there? Here's where I'm going to leave it until it dries and decide. I think I'm going to add a little bit more of that bright green back on top and bring it down a little more again, and define that left area still yet somehow. Might try to add a little bit of shadow and some depth in under the green area there. Anyway, I never know what I'm doing till I'm doing it. Sorry. So thanks for watching. Hope this was inspiring in some way or another for you to do something similar, or that you enjoyed it at least. And I will carry on with what I do to it next. Thanks for watching so far. Thank you. Switch. So yep, I switched it, and I am going to continue painting this the opposite direction. I flipped it, and I really liked the way it was going the other way, so vertical instead of horizontal. Right now you're looking at it in the horizontal, the way I was originally painting it, but I sort of started liking it the way it looked in the direction that's facing me right now. So that's where I'm going now. Always changing things up. So I'm just adding some more of the greens and black to the bottom, and I'm going to sort of bring it up the side a little bit on that right side. Same colors, and I'm just going to move it around a little bit and let it sort of settle where it wants. And then let that dry and see what I can do from that point on. So I'll just let you watch what I fiddle around here and do with it at the bottom end now. So what I'm doing here is just adding basically I'm adding little puddle pours to the already dried pour. And I do that a lot. It just adds a lot of depth, I think, and it does give the painting a little bit of texture, um, which I really like. Right there, I'm sort of stamping the edges of the puddle. Um, it gives, see, you can see it helps it blend into the already dried paint. So you don't have this great big sort of a ridge. And it carries a bit of the color up into the other areas too. I sort of on the right there I'm shaping it a little in an upwards motion, like a circle, the way I had painted the very first background part, where it was in a circle, and that halo kind of effect. So I tried to do what I'm sort of carry that onwards up on the right. Anyway, the spray bottle, what I'm doing there is when you spray some water onto really thinly painted area and then sort of dab it, or even with your brush it, I just like the little speckled effect that it makes, so that's what I'm doing there. And see there, I am trying to carry that up and sort of curve it so it sort of looks like it belonged there. Anyway, I'm just going to let you watch, and I'm trying to explain what I'm doing and why I'm doing things as it goes along here, but I'm trying also not to make this video way too long. So I'll stop talking for a bit, let you watch. Alright, so here I am. I'm going to let this little area that I just added some puddle bits on there, a good shot of it there. I'm going to let that dry now. And we will sort of revisit it when it's dry and see what I want to do with it next. Thanks for watching. See you soon. So here I am working on the branches, adding a little bit more detail. I'm using the fluid copper and black. Sometimes I mix it together and I have it very drippy on my brush, and I am trying to leave it where it leaves a little bit of texture. So that's all I'm doing right now, is just working on the branches. Well, I finished working a little bit on the branches, and I've coming up here, my recording stopped, so you'll see here I have added a little bit more green up around the right area, right there. It's going to be drying, and I will continue working on it a little bit later. Here we are. I have added some crows, ravens, crows, what have you. What I did here is you can see that that's a piece of vinyl. It's a real shiny piece, and I used my Cricut machine and I cut out, well, actually what I did was, it was a black piece of vinyl. I inked on it with the alcohol ink, lots of blues and purples and black and some silver. You can see the colors on there. And then I run it through my Cricut machine and cut out various birds in different positions like you see there. And here we are actually finished this piece, and I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know, I continued on with a little bit more painting, little addition of some extra copper there, and a little touch of green here and there anyway. And I highlighted a little bit of the purple area. And I am probably going to put resin on this painting because of the birds. They're really stuck. It's adhesive vinyl, and when you put them down, they stick like they're flat, which I really like about the adhesive vinyl. I was drawing them and they just wasn't happening, so I decided to ink some colors on and put the birds on that way. And I really like doing that. And then when I cover it with resin, it's a pretty big canvas to cover with resin. Don't love doing that, but I'll do it. And it's because I don't want the little birds to unstick and come off. But I hope you've enjoyed watching. Here we are at the end. Thanks, and see you next time.